Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Spinach. Let me give a brief introduction about myself before discussing this topic. So, I am, as you know me, Dr. Spinach, and I am a foreign medical graduate. I completed my MBBS course from Jinzhou Medical University, that's located in China. Came back to India to pursue my compulsory rotatory internship from Gandhi Medical College, Bhopal. And I recently graduated from my university in January this year. Before enrolling myself for the internship in Bhopal, I had to write FMGE exam. That brings us to the very basic question that was asked to me, that is, what is FMGE? So FMGE is an acronym for Foreign Medical Graduate Exam. You basically have to write this exam if you have done your MBBS from any university outside of India. This exam takes place 2 times a year, specifically in June and December, but this year it has been postponed to either August or September because of the pandemic. And total number of questions that are asked in this exam are 300, out of which the passing marks is 150.
FMGE is conducted by NBE, National Board of Education. That is an autonomous body that is under the Government of India.
I would very much like to divide the questions on the basis of the category of the students who asked me this question. The first category are the students who are still in their medical school and learning the theory, that is in their first, second, third or fourth year. And the second category of the students are those who are pursuing their internship or who are just 6 months or at the maximum an year away from their exams. So for the first category of the students who asked me like a lot of questions regarding FMGE, I would like to send this message to you that please do not worry about the exam just yet. It is important that you enjoy your college life. But it is equally important that you keep track of your studies. Read from the books that are provided by the university or the standard medical literatures from Indian authors. This is the time that you fill up the well of your knowledge and stop worrying about the exam. Clearing the basic concepts should be your priority. A question was asked to me by a student who probably is in his 3rd or 4th semester. Should he study from the online platforms such as PrepLadder or Marrow? These online platforms, they are the best things that have come into existence right now because of the low cost of the program and studying the subjects at the comfort of your home, at your pace. So that's amazing. But that's called as passive learning. Passive learning is something, the teachers are going to teach you, it's kind of, and everything is going into your brain, but there is no why. You're spoon feeding your brain with every single medical information from the coaching institutes. Instead of that, try to study from the books that are provided by the university itself or from the PowerPoints. Try to search for the things on your own rather than feeding your brain directly to them. The second question that was asked to me was, is FMGE tough? Okay. The most searched question regarding FMGE on Quora and on Google search. Let me answer this question straight and then tell you why this question is wrong in every possible way. Okay, so no, this exam is not tough. Quite simply, if I can do it, then you can do it too. And second, why on earth do you want to know if a particular exam is tough or not? The answers will vary with the experiences. Someone may find it very difficult and someone may find it comparatively easy. First, you tell me, do you have a choice to write this exam? I mean, if you are Google searching for, is FMGE tough? I believe you are already enrolled in foreign medical university or even halfway through your medical school. What's the point of questioning that if you anyways have to write this exam? Only to dishearten and disappoint yourself? And if you have decided on something, I don't think it matters how tough or easy it is. You just gotta make it happen. So the next question question that was asked to me is, how many subjects did you study? There are a total of 19 subjects for the syllabus in FMGE exam, and I honestly studied 12 subjects and managed to get a score of 183 out of 300. But mind you, I used to go to each and every single class. Although I would come home and never study that subject again, but I wouldn't afford to miss the class. So it's personal, but I would suggest you to continue the classes of all the subjects. It is also important that whatever subject you study, you should study the subject thoroughly. I mean, all the notes of that subject. I would also suggest you to not switch on the notes of different coaching institutes. If you are using the notes of one coaching institute, say X, then stick to that. I would like to end the answer to this question by a quote that don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. The next question in line is coaching necessary, or can I study from the coaching notes myself? This is totally up to you. If your basics are clear and you have enough time that you can understand the notes by yourself, then you can use the coaching notes. But if you have less time, or if you think you need some polishing from the tutors, then you can go for coaching institutes. For the students like me who are not disciplined at all and procrastinate all the time, coaching institutes are for you people. But if you are quite disciplined and very much determined, then you can go for the online platforms. Anyways, at this point of time, where you literally have no option to go to coaching institutes and study over there, you can only use the online applications that are available, right? In that case, the discipline should not be a question. Which subject should I prioritize? / which subjects did you study? There are a total of 19 subjects in the syllabus of FMGE. I have them written down here, and I also have displayed a mark list of the 19 subjects on my screen. They are divided into two parts, that is preclinical and paraclinical, that carry 100 marks, and clinical, that carries 200 marks. First point that I would like to make before giving you a practical outlook to this question is that the choice of subject depends upon an individual's taste. So if you have some interest in learning about that subject, then go for it. I mean, take up that subject and study it thoroughly and revise it several times until you are confident enough that you're not going to lose marks in this subject. Besides that, practically and universally speaking, if it's possible, try to complete all the pre and paraclinical subjects, because these are the subjects from which the questions are asked straightforward, one-liners without any tricks. If you remember them well, you can answer them well. We have the list of pre and paraclinical subjects. This is a list of 7 subjects here. So for me, I completely read anatomy, physiology, pathology, and forensic medicine. And I half read biochemistry and microbiology. And I left pharmacology. Wow. So that explains why I am making tutorials for pharmacology right now on YouTube. Anyways, so this was my approach to the pre and paraclinical subjects. And if you want, you can do it the same way. Moving on to the clinical subjects. So clinical subjects are divided into the major ones and the minor ones. The major ones are the ones that carry much weightage in terms of marks. I would suggest you to not leave behind obstetrics and gynecology and community medicine. I mean, these carry 30 marks. 30 marks each, that's a straight 60. And they are easy to apprehend, to learn. And they're interesting as well. So please do not leave obs-gynae and community medicine. Medicine and surgery may develop your interest in learning them, but they are very vast subjects. These subjects may be very, very, very interesting, very exciting to learn, but they do not give you the same returns in terms of the energy and time you put into them. Personally, I left medicine and surgery. Pediatrics, opthal, and ENT, these are minor subjects, and they carry 15 marks each. So we can go for them, And the minor subjects that include psychiatry, derma, radio, anesthesia, and orthopedics. So these carry 5 marks each. The minor subjects are the ones that are going to give you higher returns in terms of your scores in the exam. So try to choose the subjects wisely. Briefly, try to complete all the pre and paraclinical subjects, and there is no rush in learning medicine and surgery right now. You can take the classes for them or self-learn them after the exam, and try to focus on the exam if you have like a few months. Should I study all the 19 subjects? No, definitely not. Until and unless you were a brilliant student at your university and you studied all the subjects very well and clearly. Otherwise, please do not. This is not a competitive examination. You have to understand that. This is a screening test. This is not where your skills are tested. You are either passed or failed in this exam. So friends, please choose wisely. Sixth most commonly asked question, that is, which books to use to solve the questions. First thing, one book is enough. Anyone. So you can choose any one standard book that is available in the market. Personally, I used FMGE solution. It's quite straightforward and easy to understand. Second thing, try to solve all the past year questions of FMGE and also of NEET PG, because some of the questions are repeated from the FMGE exam itself and some are taken from the PG examinations. I would advise you to solve those questions as well. Plus, you can also use any online application that is available for FMGE preparation. Oh my god, I love this question. I mean, I literally had to think it through. It is how you stayed motivated every day before FMGE. The first thing that came to my mind while reading this question was that you need to have a strong support system. However great a person is, or however brilliant a student you are, you will always have doubts in yourself. And it is at those times that you need someone else to convince you that, dear, you can do it. I know you will do it. There are people that believe in you. So that encourages you to be your best, and that encourages you to not lose hope. So that's, I think, a very important factor that kept me motivated. And the second equally important thing, I think, is the reason. What's your motivation behind this exam? You have to ask yourself, why are you appearing for this exam? You're not doing it just because you want to get a license to practice in India. There must be more to it. Every single person has different sets of motivation in doing things they do. For instance, someone might be motivated because they want to make a lot of money becoming a doctor. Someone might be motivated because they want to serve the country or serve the people by their skills. Other people might be motivated because they want to make their parents proud. So you have to find your own motivation behind this exam. So this concept is a bit deeper, but if you think it through, you're going to understand what I'm trying to say. Personally, for me, I wanted to learn the practical skills of an intern. That was the primary motivation that led me to come back and prepare for the exam. But during the process, my motivation changed. My primary motivation at this time was more about learning in the present moment rather than thinking about me doing internship in some medical college in India. It's very overwhelming when you come back and you are actually forced to study 19 subjects in 4 months. It's kind of scary, and it might even lead you to depression and severe anxiety. The positive side to this is that you learn so much. I mean, I learned so much in those 4 months that I may not have learned in time I was in my university. So I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the process. I was enjoying the way they used to teach. I was enjoying learning about medicine. Basically, your motivation should not be the result of your activity. Your motivation should be something that leads you to enjoy the journey rather than the outcome or the destination of it. And everyone struggles from motivation. You are never going to be 100% motivated every single day of your life. That is where discipline kicks in. So when you're not motivated, you have to be disciplined. You have to force yourself to do something. That is something that you have to cultivate in yourself. And it is equally important that you take a little bit of break in between. You need to refresh your mind so that you can load it with the new knowledge that you're about to receive the next one. How many times did you revise? Because our mind has a tendency to forget things from time to time, because it can only store a finite amount of information, and for our mind to remember something for a longer period of time, it is important that we feed our mind with that information again. And so revise as many times as you can, and the least I would say is 3 times. I revised minimum of 3 times, excluding the one time that you studied the subject after coming back from your coaching. And if you have time, revise it again and again and again. Someone asked me about my journey through FMGE. Well, I can literally make a film out of that, like my 4-month journey through FMGE. I think I have already discussed enough on how to prepare for FMGE, how to approach the subjects, and which subjects may prove scoring for you, and how can you make yourself more productive and motivated. And if you have anxiety regarding the exam, whether you are going to pass or fail the exam, remember this one thing. This is what my mother used to say when I would call her and tell her my fears about the exam. She would say to me that, what is the worst that can happen? You will fail the exam. It's not the end of the world, people. You will only fail the exam. Who you are is not decided by failing the exam. What is important is, did you give your whole to the exam or not? So the outcome is not in your hand, so leave it there. What is important that you give your whole to. That completes our section on discussing the FMGE question. I was getting so many queries, equally from friends and strangers, and I was not able to reply everyone, every single entity in person. So I decided to make a YouTube tutorial about it, and it was really awesome sharing my journey with you, and I hope you gained something out of it. If you enjoyed listening to me, please click on like, subscribe, and share my